Welcome everyone to this, I guess it's another comeback show. Second time in 2 weeks on this channel we've had a comeback show. Last time, of course, it was Talk Wrestling with my WrestleMania predictions, which I did pretty good, I gotta say for myself. I was proud of myself with WrestleMania predictions.
How did I do?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, but...
I think I sucked, but then again, I'm not that abundant.
Considering the last time the Dad's on Wrestling did a show about wrestling, the last time JJ watched wrestling, I think he did pretty good. Anyway,
okay.
This is JJ Williams.
Hi, everybody.
That's right. Hi, Dr. Nick. I am Jeff Meacham. We are the Dads on Wrestling, although neither one of our kids are here again. Like,
yeah,
pretty much always happens when we're taping. The kids aren't here as it should be.
They're not supposed to be. That way they're not loud and obnoxious and driving us crazy.
And now we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, you know.
It's beautiful. But JJ came to me
via
Facebook about...
So a week or so ago?
Maybe a little more than a week. I know it was definitely right after WrestleMania.
So it's only been like a week.
Yeah, because as of today, yesterday was a week for WrestleMania. So yeah, it had to be the Monday or Tuesday after WrestleMania. And right away, CBS Sports had ranked all of them.
From all best 31 to all WrestleManias. From worst to best.
Worst to best. So this is something that's going to generate... I know WrestleMania is already in the rear view for everybody, but you know what? For me, WrestleMania season lasts all through April because, let's face it, the Extreme Rules really that important? No. Has Lockdown been worth anything since it went off pay-per-view? No. Was it worth anything before that? Probably not. So
very few and far between.
Yeah, Lockdown hasn't been good since they electrified the cage that one year. That was bad. But for me,
TNA hasn't been good since
they electrified the cage. Before
since
that,
AMW Triple X. Shut up, ass.
That was a good cage match. That was a damn good cage.
Since like their first year of pay-per-views.
But you know what's funny is, other than that match and the match between the Kings and AJ and Savage and whoever else on that team, Jeff Hardy, I think it was. Remember anything else on that pay-per-view? Anything else? I'll wait. Oh wait, I think 3 Live Crew either won or lost the NWA Tag Titles. I can't remember which one it was because that was 11 years ago. Yeah.
Are we talking about the NWA that's got their movie coming out straight out of Compton? That
Yes.
NWA?
We should
because we know the National Wrestling Alliance doesn't mean jack shit anymore.
Oh my God! Sorry, President, whatever your name is.
It hasn't since Marquez and Championship Wrestling has even withdrawn itself.
It's very true.
Once the 7 stages...
7 levels of hate.
Yes, once the 7 levels
became
of hate...
not for the title anymore. Yeah, gone. Worthless, absolutely.
So anyway...
That's not why we're here.
We're getting off track as we always do.
We're here to burn bridges because, that's what we do around here,
Number 31.
Yes.
WrestleMania 9. Is the worst WrestleMania in CBS Sports history. And here's what they have... The little blurb for it.
Blurb, yes.
WrestleMania 9's main event featured Yokozuna retaining the title against Bret Hart, only to have Hulk Hogan come away with the belt after a 22-second follow-up match.
Already wrong because he won the title from Bret.
Yeah.
Which shows how much mainstream sports pays attention to wrestling these days.
Yeah,
But I will totally grant that 9 was awful.
Yeah.
9 was absolutely awful, and I feel bad for my buddy Lee because he was at that WrestleMania with his dad. You can, if you look closely in this crowd, like way up in the back, you can see him if you look really hard. But yeah, 9 was pretty bad. I mean, I'm surprised 11 wasn't 31 because 11 was pretty awful too. But 9.
Oh, 11 is up there in like the bad stuff.
It's bad. Okay, good, because 11 was pretty awful.
Number 30 is WrestleMania 2.
Okay, what do you have to
say? The second installment of WrestleMania had a lot of people scratching their heads. Held on a Monday night, WrestleMania 2 was spread across 3 venues and including the boxing match between Piper and Mr. T.
That's right, you can. For only $9.99, and WWE Network, you can cheapen your gas costs as well.
Shut up, Jeff.
So yeah,
WrestleMania 2 is ranked number 30.
Yeah, Monday night really wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, a lot of people worked during the week. A lot of people couldn't get to Mania 2, either 3 venues because of the day it was on. But you gotta remember, they're trying to book the Sports Arena, the Rosemont Horizon, and the Nassau Coliseum on the Sunday, on the same night. You try getting the Islanders out of the Nassau Coliseum on a Sunday. Oh wait, back in '85, 86 anyway. Nowadays, whatever, they're gone anyway. So as of now, well, maybe the playoffs now, I don't know. But the Rosemont Horizon was a hotbed back then, and the Sports Arena actually wasn't a shithole yet. So, you couldn't book the same place, same places, all three venues and all three time zones on the same night without a serious bunch of jumbling. So Monday not being that worse of it, but the card itself, other than the main events and the tag title match between the Bulldogs and the Dream Team, not a solid card.
Yeah.
This is back where either you're one of us for watching, so we're kind of just going, we know what we watch, but we weren't in the moment like we are nowadays.
Yes. So
for us to look back and say that was horrible, on paper and in execution, yeah, it's pretty horrible. But, in the grand scheme of things, Vince's vision of pulling out 3 time zones in one night, not so bad.
No. Check the camera real quick because I thought I heard a beep.
Might have been the smoke detector.
Might have been.
It was.
Okay. Just making sure.
That's what everything's for.
Because I'm used to the camera beeping. I mean,
right.
I'm used to the smoke detector too here, but
that's okay.
The camera beeping being a smoke.
We'll leave it in. What the hell? It's all right.
Number 29, WrestleMania 2000.
Aww.
WrestleMania 2000 took place at the height of the Attitude Era popularity, but the final product could not match the hype. Injuries to Austin and Undertaker hurt the card.
True. Very true. I was there. You all know that. That was my first WrestleMania.
My wrestling debut was the night after.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think. Granted, there was not one single regular singles match.
Yeah, every match was a gimmick.
Every match was a gimmick. There was only one singles match, period, and that was the cat fight between the Cat and Terry. Everything else was tag team or more people. So, personally, I didn't think it was that bad at WrestleMania. Maybe it's because I was there live. Maybe it's because I got to go to Access that day and really experience WrestleMania for the first time my own self. And maybe my view is a little skewed for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was that bad, personally. You were a fan by then. What'd you think?
I thought it was an okay card, but I can see why it's there, in the grand scheme of things when you're trying to rank 31 WrestleManias.
Well, you try to rank 31 of them, yeah. You're not going to have the ones that you like necessarily in the right spot. Now, I just saw what's next, and I'm not surprised at all.
Number 28 is 11, which, he thought was going to be 31.
Yeah.
WrestleMania was fun to watch if you sat down in front of your TV to see Pamela Anderson, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and Lawrence Taylor in wrestling's biggest event.
Yeah, exactly. The entire...
Baby Simba. Yeah.
Yeah, you've since watched this back on DVD.
Oh yeah, this is a horrible freaking show.
It's horrible.
When the highlight is Salt and Pepper wrapping you to the ring, there's a lot to be desired.
When the main focus of Vince McMahon's entire comedy, entire show is trying to find Pamela Anderson, it's like, just look for somebody out to here, people. It's not that hard to find. It's the Hartford Civic Center. Not that big a venue. You can find her, okay? Come on, people. Horrible WrestleMania, just awful, just bad. More celebrity driven than any of the WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Except for maybe the first one.
Maybe the first one, but the first one still had a solid card underneath it too. This one was strictly Pamela Anderson and LT with the other celebrities on the undercard. Exactly what it was.
Number 27 is WrestleMania 27.
Really?
Triple H versus The Undertaker was somehow not the main event of the evening. That was given to The Miz. The saving grace for the 27th edition, The Rock returned to set up a match with John Cena.
It's funny that...
You've got to be more critical when you're trying to rank essentially 31 Super Bowls in their order of greatness.
Right.
WrestleMania, every WrestleMania on its own is good for different reasons and is bad for different reasons. But when you're trying to rank 31 of them from best to worst, sometimes you've got to be a little bit more critical. And in the grand scheme of things, Triple H and Undertaker was the match of the night. Right. The Miz had no place in the main event. CM Punk proved that point
on DVD, yeah,
and argued a hell of a point.
He did.
And The Rock coming out and rock bottoming Cena so that the Miz could win is pretty much the only thing that did save the main event.
Okay. I'll concede that. I'll admit that.
And this is when you were still a Rocky hater.
Yeah. Well, Rock and I have since made nice.
Yes.
That's all good. And by the way, lip sync Taylor Swift, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Ever. I've seen some funny shit. But him lip syncing Shake It Off.
I still haven't watched it. I saw the little trailer, so I saw some of the snippet that was out there.
We need to go online before you go to work. Oh my God, Jay. Oh my God. Anyway.
Number 26 is WrestleMania 8. It says Piper versus Brett goes down as an all-timer during Mania 8, but the two main events left much to be desired.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Flair and Savage was...
And that's the picture that we have here on the website.
Right.
Is Savage throwing Flair over the top rope,
Right.
which back in the NWA would have been a disqualification.
That's right. He clotheslined in the boot, which would have been a double, but no. Yeah, that match wasn't all that good, and Savage had to cheat to win, which made him look like a terrible babyface as a result. But Flair's even mentioned this. You know, that was at the time where Flair was the cool heel by then, and Vince still didn't understand the nature of the cool heel.
Yeah.
And didn't understand that heels could still be liked and still be reviled in the same breath. So that match suffered. And Hogan Justice, people were so sick of Hogan as it was. I hate that, but it was.
As he sits there in his Hulkamania shirt.
You know, brand new, WWE shop, $25, don't give a shit. I had to replace my own one, I was getting the holes for days. But Sid Justice, or Sid Vicious, or Psycho Sid, or Sid UD in the main event of any pay-per-view is a disaster.
Where he's not jumping off the top rope and breaking his leg.
That's right. Or he's in the garden getting cheered against Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Is a disaster waiting to happen.
Number 25 is WrestleMania 5. It says WWE's 5th WrestleMania is known for the Vince debut of Shawn Michaels and the Hogan vs. Savage main event. Hogan defeated Savage for his second run as champion.
So no criticism, just a straight out fact sheet right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, like I said earlier, when you're ranking 31 shows, you've got to be critical. And was WrestleMania 5 as good as some of the other ones that we haven't got to yet?
I think the problem with 5 is that there's so much. I mean, you've watched the DVD. I remember when the VHS of WrestleMania 5 was 2 videos. 4 was too. Because it was like Titanic. You had fucking 2 VHS because it was so long. 4 and 5 were horrifically long. You
Please
couldn't fit
flip
them all.
the disc to finish the movie.
That's right. Please switch to tape 2 for like what? That's true. On yours, you flip it. That's right. Yeah, there's so much to WrestleMania 4 and 5. You have to flip the DVD to finish that shit. Okay? Seriously, it's terrible.
Number 24, WrestleMania 7.
Go ahead.
And all it says is WrestleMania saw the debut of Undertaker's unprecedented undefeated streak, which has since been soiled, and AJ Lee is retired from WrestleMania undefeated.
we talking about that. Jordan, good for AJ. Happy retirement, AJ. You're not watching, but I'll tell you anyway.
You never know. We know our shows go around.
I know.
You never know.
I know who does watch.
Mr. and Mrs. Brooks could be sitting at home in Chicago, Illinois, watching this right now.
Well, hopefully CM Punk's in the gym training for his fight because he's going to get killed otherwise.
I think Punk's got a lot better chance than people want to give him credit for.
Well, I hope so, for his sake. I really do.
So
anyway, WrestleMania 7. My first WrestleMania that I saw live as a fan. I'll forever remember that because during, let's see, second to last or third to last match at my aunt's house in the Antelope Valley, we're watching on pay-per-view, and all of a sudden the feed just cuts. I found out from Fred Rogan. If you know Fred Rogan out here on Channel 4, NBC Sports, I found out from Fred Rogan that Hulk Hogan won the title back in Return of the Slaughter. That's when wrestling was still covered as mainstream back then. But yeah, I always remember WrestleMania 7 for that very reason, because we lost the feed almost all the way at the end. So I missed most of the good stuff. I thought Savage Warrior, that was good.
1 second.
We were having a lag here because the CBS Sports, you want to get on your internet connection a little bit better? You want to make that happen for us a little bit faster?
I don't care about your fantasy baseball leagues.
I definitely don't.
I barely care about what you think about wrestling, but I definitely don't care about your fantasy baseball league advertisements.
Definitely not.
Number 23, WrestleMania 23. In the Battle of the Billionaires, Donald Trump's Bobby Lashley defeated Vince McMahon's Umaga. The loser had to shave his head. As they give us a photo of Randy Orton RKOing Punk off of the ladder.
Because that makes total sense. Money in the Bank was good that year. Just too many people in it. The Umaga Lashley match was high in drama and high in comedy. That's what it was supposed to be. And Michael Cena was fucking good. I don't give Cena a lot of credit anymore, even though I still a fan. But that match with Shawn Michaels was really good. Shut up. That match was good. The Undertaker Batista match was better than it was supposed to be. Well, it's not bad, man. Yeah, but again, you got to rank 31 of them, so what are you gonna do?
Number 22, WrestleMania 4. It's not quite March Madness, but in 1988, WWE held a 14-man battle tournament for the Heavyweight Championship. Hogan lost a stunner in the quarterfinals, which set up Macho Man to win the belt.
See, Hogan didn't lose. It was double disqualification. They both lost.
He didn't move on, which is what everyone assumed was going to happen.
Well, of course.
So he didn't lose, but he didn't win, I think is the point they're trying to make.
But as Andre revealed, that was all part of the $1 Million Master Plan.
That's right.
Just to get Hogan out of the way. And then in the process, DiBiase got a bye past Andre. DiBiase's so smart. See, he should be on the damn list of champion. Still say that to this day. Anyway, go ahead.
Number 29, WrestleMania
21.
Number 21 ranked WrestleMania 29. Fans of Mania were treated to a sequel of Rock Cena in 2013. This time, Cena exacted revenge to win the championship over the People's Champ. As we see a picture of CM Punk
doing the dive off. Yeah, it's Undertaker. Other than those two matches, name me something you remember right off the top of your head from that pay-per-view. Off the top of your head, so it's not happening, so there you go. Great, you've been watching for about a year, but still. Even still. WrestleMania 29 was the Rock Cena rematch and Punk desecrating Paul Bear's memory. That's all that WrestleMania was. So I agree with it being low. That's one I actually own.
Number 20 is WrestleMania 21.
See, I agree with this one too, but go ahead.
WrestleMania 21 was stocked with great matches, but the Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle undercard fight stole the show. Cena's Mania legacy rose with his championship win over JBL.
Oh, she got the names right. That's good.
Which, of course, this was my WrestleMania debut, and to date, the only Mania I have attended.
Right. Okay.
I did want to go this year, but NorCal with the bucket that I drive just ain't happening.
Yeah, I'm not sure if your car would have made it there and back in one piece.
Yeah. If I'm not willing to drive 2 hours to San Diego, I'm not going to drive 8 hours north.
Yeah, and back. It's a 24, believe it or not. Other than the Kurt Angle Shawn Michaels match, once this WrestleMania hit the women's title match, it's as simple as that. They had the women's match, which is crap. You had the Angle match, which was awesome, and then you had the sumo match and the title matches. So
the sumo match was definitely god awful.
So about half the show was good.
Batista wasn't horrible.
Yes, it was. Considering how good Triple H was back then and how good Batista came to be later,
okay,
it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better.
Number 19, WrestleMania 24.
Go ahead.
WrestleMania 24 had a stacked card with 3 main events that didn't even include the career-threatening match between Michaels and Flair.
True.
Michaels hit his finisher, Sweet Chin Music, to end Flair's illustrious 35-year wrestling career until he went to TNA and fucked him.
That's right. That's right.
It actually says that right here.
He's lucky. You lie. You lie. Okay. I was at this one. We all know that. The 3 main events. Okay, Undertaker Edge was good. The boxer Mayweather and Big Show. It was what it was. You know, it was what it was.
It was better than T. Piper.
Fuck yes, because it wasn't a boxing match. It was a fight. And then you had the triple threat for the WWE title, which actually was better than I thought it would be, considering it was Orton, Cena, and Hunter. And then the Michaels Flair match. No, but if there was a dry eye in that Citrus Bowl, I defy somebody to find it during that final sequence where he hit the tune music and he said, "I'm sorry, I love you." Fuck. I still cry to this day over that. Even though he came back and wrestled, even though he came back and ruined his legacy in TNA. You know, it still means something to me. It still means something to me that I was at the Hall of Fame the night before. So for both the WrestleManias are in the bottom 15. That's fucked up. Bottom 16. That's fucked up. All right. And so was yours.
It happens.
We grew up in the wrong era, man.
Number 18 is this year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 31.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Again, when you're ranking...
I know, but even like number 18 at all?
Think about this. Why is WrestleMania 31 better than some of the shit that we just did?
True.
You just said WrestleMania 24 wasn't that bad, and this year's Mania is better than that, apparently.
According to them, I guess.
You know, you got to look at it
Well,
like that, too.
What do they have to say?
Many fans questioned how good Mania 31 would be, but WWE put those fans' worries to rest with unforgettable WrestleMania moments like the NWO vs. DX, Sting's WWE debut, The Rock and Ronda Rousey against The Authority, and finally Seth Rollins cashing in his briefcase to win the main event.
Again, we've been through WrestleMania between the two of us. But I think this year's was actually better than the ones we went to. You haven't seen 31.
I was just gonna throw it out there. To be fair, I haven't watched yet. I can only go off of what I heard and read about on the internet. And the one thing I would have booked differently, based off of what I've read, were two things. Sting should not have lost.
No.
There is no fucking reason for Paul Levesque to go over on Steve Borden when he is an office man now.
Right. Unless there's a grand plan in the works.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless there's a bigger picture here that we're not getting to yet, there's no reason that Sting should have lost his WrestleMania debut. Because at the end of the day, that was really the only etch in Sting's career that he hadn't done. Had not wrestled at WrestleMania. And he did, and he lost.
Yeah.
Bullshit. The second thing, the NWO DX segment. I have not seen how this all played out. But from what I know and have read, X-Pac came out on the DX side. I would have had him come out on the NWO side and then mid-fight tear his shirt off and have the DX shirt, since he was integral parts of both of those versions of DX, because it was the original NWO, Hall, Nash, and Hogan, and it was the DX Army with Shawn basically filling Chyna's void.
Right.
Since he was integral parts in both of those gimmicks, I would have had him come out NWO and then turn his back to join DX for the fight and have it be kind of like it was in the war.
Well, considering it was all part of the grand Sting vs. Triple H picture,
maybe X-Pac could have been what cost the match for Sting.
Something, you know? Yeah. For all that was hyped to be, it really wasn't executed that well, that match, unfortunately.
WrestleMania 7, or excuse me, I keep going to that because we're doing 31 Manias and 31. Yeah. Number 17 of the countdown is WrestleMania 12.
Okay.
Michaels' battle with Bret Hart in a legendary Iron Man match ended in a scoreless stalemate that was ordered to a sudden death. Michaels was able to escape with the 1-0 victory and the title.
But other than that, what else was there that really stood out as a marquee match? You had the streak continuing again, which is all it happened anyway. You had the tag title match, finals of a tournament, happened on the free-for-all, yes.
The Bronco chase. The street fight.
Like I said, most of that match was stock footage from 2 years prior that they stole from the police. All right? Or from whatever news outlet they had out here that they stole that from.
Number 16 is WrestleMania 15.
Okay.
The top-heavy card in WrestleMania 15 gave way to an inconsistent pay-per-view. The main event featuring Austin Rock was a dream matchup for fans, though.
I agree wholeheartedly. That, again, one of those where it's very much like a WCW pay-per-view during the NWO era. Solid undercard, weak main event. This was the complete opposite. Weak undercard, solid main event. Even the Undertaker match was bad.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell was awful against the Boss Man. Just awful.
And let's not even talk about the Bart Gunn Butterbean match.
Yeah, match.
You
see his head rotate.
Yeah. It's like The Exorcist and shit.
It is, straight up.
Bart Gunn went Linda Blair on that ass. Number 15, WrestleMania 26.
See, I don't agree some of these more recent ones being better than some of the ones, whatever.
Taker's streak versus career match with Michaels stole the show back in 2010. After ending Flair's career at Mania, it felt fitting that Mr. WrestleMania's career would end at the Banner's biggest event.
Okay. But again, you had that match, which was good. Not as good as one the year prior, which is probably why haven't got 25 yet, which surprised me, because that was the only good match on that whole show. I'm sorry.
And I still don't think that match was as good as people made it out to be.
The 125?
Yes.
Oh, I disagree.
Because Taker damn near broke his fucking neck.
Other than that one spot, though.
There were a few major botches in that match.
Well, we'll talk about when we get there. But other than that match, for the 26, you had the Brett Vince fight, which was awful. Batista, Cena, which you turned your back on and purposely set your living room with your back turned.
Still to this day have not watched that match all the way through and refuse to.
It was better than a SummerSlam match, honestly. I thought.
That's not saying much.
I understand that, but you watched that one.
SummerSlam I watched because it's my birthday pay-per-view.
Okay.
I am not going to pay that much money for the Super Bowl and have that be force-fed my main event.
Well, that's right.
When I couldn't stand either one of them.
But it wasn't the main event, so you're okay.
Still. You know what I mean, fucker.
I know what you mean, fucker.
Number 14 is WrestleMania 13. In an act of vengeance, Bret Hart locked in his devastating submission hold the sharpshooter that ultimately made Stone Cold pass out from pain. Hart's babyface persona wouldn't be the same following the vicious win.
Nor would Austin's heel persona.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
They totally did the double turn.
They did. But again, other than that match, the whole show sucked. So why is it so high compared to the one? See, CBS is getting this wrong.
There's a small part of me that holds the Rock Sultan match as a favorite on that show, only because of the fact that at the end of it all, Rocky was wrestling his cousin and his dad made an appearance at the end of the match. That's those feels that WrestleMania are made for. Number 13 on the list is WrestleMania 22. It says, in Mick Foley's final WrestleMania match, the battered and bruised wrestler did not disappoint. In his battle with Edge, he was speared through a burning table, which sounds like a typical Sunday night for Mankind.
For Mankind or for Mick Foley Mankind? Is Mankind going through the table? Sounds about right for a Sunday dinner, you know.
Yeah.
Especially Easter Sunday like it was yesterday. Although it's going up Tuesday, so it doesn't make sense what I just said. That's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter.
And we apologize if the camera shot's a little bit different from what it was. We talked so long on the first part of it that we had to reset up and offload so that we knew where we got cut. So if it looks a little screwy,
yeah, you know.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. It is what it is.
It's been so long. You should know us by now.
Yeah. I don't have the editing brilliance of a Final Cut Pro program or something like some people do. So you know, we do what we can for you people because you've been asking for dads. I give you dads. Yeah. So it's what I do. It's what I try to do. Okay.
So that's
22. You know what? 22 was okay. You had really the first signs of the anti-Cena movement with them booing him against the ultra heel Triple H. Let's be honest. But again, both Triple H and Shawn Michaels did the famous crotch chop during their respective matches, which led to the reformation of DX in the gym that year. So they were both already on that side of things. Yeah, Michaels facing Vince, so you know. A match with Vince is not going to be a 5-star classic by any stretch of the imagination ever, but Michael's got one out of it.
But it's going to be entertaining.
Exactly.
If there's one thing for certain, McMahon's aim to entertain in their matches.
Always do. You know.
Shane's were never 5-star match of the week classics, but I'll be goddamned if he didn't have the holy shit moment of the night.
Yeah, Stephanie's. Yeah. Her match with her dad was about the only one that really.
Stephanie's matches were all about watching her boobies bounce.
Well, prior to 2001 they weren't though, because she had no movies.
She did. They were just real.
True, but there weren't much of them. Even she did it herself. Yeah. When she was champion, she wasn't all blossomed out. Anyway, moving right along.
She was better then.
She was better. I agree.
Number 12 is WrestleMania 14. The eccentric Mike Tyson made his presence felt at the 14th WrestleMania. As the special enforcer, Tyson shocked the world by betraying Michaels to award Austin the title. Tyson's fist later met Michaels' jaw after a minor confrontation.
Yeah, met his jaw. The picture itself speaks volumes. You've got Michael selling the punch, and Tyson's fist either down here somewhere or way back here somewhere. We can't really tell in the picture that's showing us, but nowhere near Michael's face. He never punched him. If Tyson had punched Michael legitimately in the jaw at WrestleMania 14, he'd been arrested on sight because his hands were registered lethal weapons. Period. Stupid. Other than that, solid WrestleMania. The first WrestleMania that was really the signaling of a dawning of a new era, so to speak.
Even though some people argue that 13 was with the Austin Brett switch.
Right.
The ushering in of Austin as a babyface that night was, by many, deemed the beginning of the Attitude Era.
Agreed, but the WWE official, whatever you want to call it,
the marketing
comes at 14, and it didn't disappoint. That match was that pay-per-view was solid from beginning to end. Not one really horrible match on the entire show.
No,
should be higher, I think. But we'll see what happens after.
Number 11, the last one before we hit the top 10.
Okay.
The inaugural WrestleMania, WrestleMania 1. The inaugural WrestleMania featured some huge names littered throughout the program. The usuals pop up: Hogan, Mr. T, Jimmy Snuka. However, Muhammad Ali was a special guest referee, and Liberace was the guest timekeeper. You can't make this stuff up.
Mania, the original Mania, was, like I said, about 11?
I think so.
Celebrity driven. That's exactly what it was. It was to get people that had never watched wrestling a day in their lives, that didn't see the World Settle the Score on MTV the month prior, to go to their closed circuit locations or buy a ticket to the Garden and see wrestling in person.
And see what wrestling was all about.
And in McMahon's eyes,
what the new era of wrestling at that time was all about.
What the McMahon family, as far as Vincent K. McMahon, thought wrestling and sports entertainment should be. Because we had Starrcade a year and a half prior. And that was wrestling. This was the ushering in of the era of sports entertainment. And it wasn't the best show they ever did. But it wasn't horrible either.
I think it's only at number 11 for nostalgia as the inaugural. Because I've already viewed this list, and I have no problems with the 10 that are in the top 10 being in the top 10. Mm-hmm. I just might have changed their order a little bit.
Okay. Well, keep this in mind. I have not... JJ sent me this list where it was day after Mania, 2 days after Mania. I have not seen it.
Because he's been a lazy fuck.
I've been trying to get a new job, excuse me. I got
all
fired.
that time on the computer and can't look through a fucking list to do some homework. God damn you, Jeff.
Trying to get paid
Here
for
I am balancing 2 jobs, and I still have the time to scroll through this list. Drum roll, please. Number 10, WrestleMania 6. Billed as the Ultimate Challenge, the Intercontinental Champion Ultimate Warrior faced off against WWE Champion Hulk Hogan. Both titles were on the line in this huge match. In a rare occurrence, Hogan actually lost at Mania.
To date, his one of only 2 clean losses at WrestleMania. So that speaks volumes on how far Mr. McMahon thought Warrior would go. He didn't.
Until he held him up,
Until all is forgiven because he's in the Hall of Fame now, and he died 2 days later, so we're all boo-hoo about it. But, me personally, I will never understand the Warrior's popularity. I don't get it. I just don't. And I can't justify his marquee moment at Mania being in the top 10.
Can you justify Batista's popularity?
Can I? Personally, no.
I was going to say, because if you can justify Batista's, you can justify Warriors, because they're popular pretty much the same reasons.
Yeah, because their workout buddy pushed them up to the top. Sorry, that's what it was. Anyway, go ahead. I'm being an asshole.
Drum roll. Number 9, WrestleMania 28. Okay. A fight between 2 generational talents broke out at the 28th WrestleMania. The Rock and Cena gave a great matchup, but were not outdone by the Triple H and Undertaker end of an era match.
This match is... We all sat there at the apartment and watched this match together unfold. And I've not held back to this day in not being embarrassed of how I was literally tears streaming down my face at the sheer emotion of the Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as the referee. Every time that Shawn Michaels went to the corner and was holding his face I was the same way. And it should have been the end of an era like it said. Triple H should never have wrestled again. Undertaker's streak should have ended at 20-0. Michaels should have walked away. And all three of them are still involved. It drives me crazy.
Michaels limited.
But he's still...
Michaels basically comes every WrestleMania now to make an appearance. Much like Rocky does.
Okay. And that I accept. But
he is Mr. WrestleMania.
Make an appearance is one thing, but involved like he was in that match, but being involved in this match like he was at 28 was too much, number one.
This, in my opinion, was the best Undertaker match since Taker Orton at 21. Personal opinion.
Okay. Yeah. This match was very good.
And I totally agree. This should have been the end of the era and should have ended. Punk Taker the following year, notwithstanding, was good.
But it wasn't great.
But nothing since Punk Taker has been worth anything.
No. Nothing since Taker Triple H has been worth it for either Triple H or The Undertaker. With the exception of Triple H putting over Bryan last year.
And this was the culmination of essentially a 4-year storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Because you had Michaels losing the first time at 25, which still hasn't been named yet. What the hell, CBS?
Losing at 26 and leaving.
And then Triple H trying to avenge his friend's loss, and then
but doing it because Triple H walked away,
and
Taker
Undertaker
got
did not,
carted away.
and Undertaker having to beg Triple H pretty much to do it, and Triple H said, "All right, we'll do it. Do it Hell in a Cell." Should have been it for all three of them. That's my opinion.
Number 8, WrestleMania 20.
I don't agree with the picture, but I agree with the placement of the pay-per-view. But go ahead.
WrestleMania celebrated its 20th birthday at the Garden with an action-packed show, the return of The Undertaker, Goldberg's final WWE match, and Stone Cold stunners abound.
Yeah, because both Lesnar and Goldberg got a stunner. But the picture they use is Goldberg getting stunned by Austin.
Well, because the one that they should be using, he no longer exists.
They can still use it, though. They're not WWE.
I think this should be top 5. Because we all know that I think that this is the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Yes, you do. I know that.
And I can concede it not being number 1, but it should be in the top 5.
It was definitely the best one between 20 and 30. As far as 20 through 30. 30 was good. 31 was better than they're giving it credit for on CBS Sports.
Well, but again, you've got to rank it in.
I understand that. But
and you don't want to put it better than some of these that I'm naming in the top 10.
Well, WrestleMania, is this... Yeah, see, this is bullshit. 25... I'm an asshole.
I want to do the drum roll. Number 7 is WrestleMania 25.
Okay.
2 of the best performers in WrestleMania history put on an all-time match when The Undertaker defeated Shawn Michaels.
But other than that show was terrible. Okay, I'm begging you people right now, every single one of you, and you do it too when we get off the air here. Go on WWE.com, sign up for the network, only $9.99, and watch the new Triple H biopic release on DVD. I believe it was a year and a half ago, because Thy Kingdom Come is on the network under the Beyond the Ring specials or whatever.
Or you can go to Netflix. Fuck WWE and their $9.99 a month and watch Thy Kingdom Come on Netflix. I did.
Oh, okay. Triple H himself.
Without giving the Imam money.
Whatever. Triple H himself, did he not say that match itself was restricted by the fact they gave it a great storyline, and they get to Houston, and they leave a stipulation on him, where if he gets disqualified or gets overly aggressive in any way, he'll lose his title too. Who the fuck books this shit, Vince?
Russo?
No, not Russo. It wasn't Russo's fault that time. Oh dear Christ. But okay, you had Triple H, Shawn Michaels, which was arguably, I will disagree with you, Shawn Michaels, Triple H's best WrestleMania match. Not Triple H's, Undertaker's best WrestleMania match. But other than that, what on that card makes it worth top 7? Is that what it was?
Yes, it was number 7.
No, and it wasn't better than 20. No fucking way was it better than 20.
I thought 25 was abysmal start to finish.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping and praying that 25 would hold up to what 20 did.
And it didn't.
And it sucked.
It did not at all.
Number 6, drum roll. WrestleMania 19.
Oh.
It took 3 rock bottoms, but The Rock finally pinned Austin in the 3rd Mania meeting between the legends.
This WrestleMania will
The debut of Chris Hardy.
The debut of Chris Hardy, that's right. Almost the WrestleMania return of Jeff Meacham. Almost. Because it was going to be an XFU trip. We were going to go, 3 of us were going to go up the coast and just because it was Seattle. And just make it happen. And we ended up not doing it. We ended up, where did we watch that? Where did we watch the show that year? I say watch it at Rest, I don't remember. Isn't that awful? It was only 12 years ago.
I watched it from the comfort of the D18 apartment.
There you go. Because you were still there for 20 years. You know, just saying.
Longer than some people been born.
Yeah, right.
I lived in that apartment longer than some of the people I work with at Domino's have been alive.
Yeah. Some people watching this show right now as we speak. Goddamn. But 19 was good. You had 4 solid main event matches. Even Triple H Booker, for all that was horribly booked, the match itself delivered. Austin Rock was great. Hogan McMahon was great in its own way. And Jesus Christ, an Angle and Lesnar put on a clinic, or was it just me? Oh my God.
Until Lesnar thought he could still do the shooting star press. Thought he was freaking Rey Mysterio in shape with the cruiserweight move.
Oh no. He buried his own head in the mat. True story. Pull off OVW like 10 times, so what are you going to do, you know? Alright, here we go.
Drum roll. Number 5. I can't do it because I don't have the hair no more. 5.
I never did.
WrestleMania 18. The Roman numerals got a little messy,
Yeah.
but WrestleMania 18 was still a huge success in an icon versus icon match. Hogan lost to The Rock, proving he was, in fact, the best to go to Hollywood.
That's right. He's an icon.
Where Jeff Meacham wishes he would have stayed after that match.
Well, for a while, I'm over it now. I'm okay.
So he can churn out classics like Journey 2.
And Doom.
Yeah, we forget about Doom.
Even Rockers forget about Doom. He said at the Hall of Fame when I was there. True story.
They were chanting Rocky last week. They were chanting Tooth Fairy. Which I have to now.
Oh, of course, as you should. Absolutely. 18 was great.
Yes.
Definitely top 5. Absolutely. One of those ones that was the last vestiges of the Attitude Era. Like the last really go around of the Attitude Era, but it delivered. Mm-hmm. The last WWF WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So, good stuff.
And, you know, Austin's placement on the card notwithstanding in
No,
that
you know
match
what?
against Razor.
You know what? That match wasn't all that good. But
that kind of shows you that the Attitude Era was kind of coming to an end because Austin was the poster boy, the Cena, if you will, of the Attitude Era.
And even The Rock wasn't in the last match.
You know, and here was Austin mid-card hell, against Razor Ramon.
Well, Scott Hall, but yeah.
Same difference.
Well,
if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's Corey Perry.
This is my channel. That's not allowed. You do that on your channel all you fucking want.
You look me in the eye and tell me that Scott Hall in WCW, when he debuted and through the entire run before he came back to the WWE, did not walk and talk like Razor Ramon.
Toward the end, he didn't.
Toward the end. But pretty much the entire hype
And they got sued for it, did they not? Okay.
Still, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's Corey Perry.
It's 2 times his name. 2 times now on my channel. My channel. I had see this thing you guys don't understand. I don't have control of my own channel. I don't. Whenever I bring him or Aaron, I lose all control. It's not my channel anymore. It's, you know.
Just be thankful you're not sitting here with Statboy. He'd be wearing a Ducks jersey.
Oh, he'd be off my channel. Are you kidding me? He'd be barred for life.
Drum roll. Number 4 is WrestleMania 10. In a battle of brothers, Owen Hart scored the upset over his kin Bret. The night also included the first ladder match in Mania history.
And the picture is of Brett winning the night with the championship with Luger and Razor, Scott Hall, whatever you want to call him, the Diamond Stud, holding him up on the shoulders. There you go.
1/3 of the Kings of Wrestling.
That's right. Well, Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, Diesel, right? Vinny Vegas, Oz, Master Blaster number 2. No, Master Blaster.
Shredder.
Super Shredder. That's yes. Okay. Yeah. Main event 11. That's all I gotta say. Yeah.
And I love the expression on Luger's face. He's just looking up at Brett like, motherfucker, I'm gonna beat you for that belt. That should have been mine.
Like, what? That should have been mine. And he never did. Never got close again either, may I add. Thank God. But 10 was not better than 20. 10 was not better than 18. 10 was not better than this.
Number 3, Mania 3. Some 93,000 brave souls packed the Pontiac Silverdome to see the huge main event between Hogan and Andre. Hogan slammed the 500-pound behemoth, but Steamboat and Savage stole the show with their phenomenal match.
And I say that it wasn't better than 3, but think about what I just said. What have I been saying this whole show? Other than Hogan and Andre, and that wasn't even very good, and Steamboat Savage, what was there? Yeah, it's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's number 3 because of the marquee.
93,000
people say it was number 3. That's why, exactly. Whatever.
Number 2, WrestleMania 30.
Okay. Wow.
The end of the streak.
Yes.
Shock and awe hushed over the crowd once the referee counted to 3. That night, Brock Lesnar came away with the most improbable win in Mania history over The Undertaker. And I said all along, if there was anybody that was going to legitimately be a threat, it was Brock. And nobody wanted to listen to me.
I'll never forget, ever. Because this is back before I got the network on the big screen TV at my house. Myself, my dad, my brother, all hung around my laptop, watching the match. And watching that 3 count. And watching Paul slither his walrus ass into the ring and put his hand over his face, because even he couldn't believe it. And neither could we. I still, a year and something later, cannot believe it. That the streak ended.
Because at the end of the day, Brock, credible threat or not, it should have ended at end of an era, streak intact.
20-0, exactly.
Or it should have ended at the hands of Punk, who Taker supposedly wanted to go over, much like he supposedly wanted Orton to go over at 21.
Mm-hmm.
But Vince put the kibosh on that.
Both of them. Well, let me ask you this. Have you watched the interview with Stone Cold and Vince McMahon? Have you seen it? That was on the podcast. It's been on several outlets since the network.
I've seen parts of it. I did watch and listen to The Art of Wrestling with Punk on Cabana's show.
We all watched that. We all listened to that one. That
very entertaining.
That was good enough. On the podcast with Vince and Austin, Vince flat out admitted it was his call. It always was. And he's like, who else's call would it be, Steve? So, regardless of what we've heard the last 20 years, everything, still to this day, comes down to Vince McMahon. Like we don't know because we don't.
I was going to say, give it a little bit of a longer one. This is number 1.
We've said everyone else. We know which one it is. We'll just keep going.
Well, they know which one it is if they've been jotting them off their checklist as we go.
Well, you know what? Here, I'll go ahead and do that real quick. I'll wait. Watch it back real quick. I'll wait. I got 5 minutes to go. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we don't have that much time to kill.
All right, go ahead.
Number 1, WrestleMania 17.
This I agree with.
Voted the best WWE pay-per-view of all time, WrestleMania 17 tops the list. Rock Austin and Triple H Taker go down as 2 of the best matches Mania has ever seen. I don't know about that claim.
Yeah, because Triple H Undertaker was better when Undertaker was the dead man on both matches, my opinion. And Austin Rock, I dare say 15 and 19 were better executed matches than 17. My opinion. I think people tend to look at the heel turn of Stone Cold as this and fail to realize that that match itself was okay. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great.
15's match was stellar.
Yes.
17 had to do something to top that.
And they did with the heel
So
turn.
you got, but aside from the heel turn, you also got more false finishes.
True.
17, I believe, was the first time they started doing each other's finishers in a Mania match.
And lead into it as well.
So they had to up it. So it grew slightly because of those two factors. And then 19 was just fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
You know, you had to one-up yourself. And I kudos the E for giving a year in between each of those matches.
Yes.
Granted, 16, Austin was injured. 18, they could have done it again, but Austin was in the mid-card against Razor. Rocky had the Icon match.
What do you think about it? Both Rock and Austin were battling the NWO, which is what that was supposed to be happening. Just reversed, what I heard. So, anyway, that's what CBS Sports thinks. You heard what I had to say. You heard what Jay had to say briefly.
What do you have to say?
I kind of really talked over most of what he had to say, and I apologize for that. But
I'm used to it happening.
Yeah,
it is your channel.
It is my
after all.
channel.
You are the great and powerful Jeff Meacham. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Did CBS get it right? Is CBS full of shit? Should they just go back to making Criminal Minds to stay away from wrestling? Or what do you think?
Leave Criminal Minds alone.
Hey, you got me.
That show is epic.
Criminal Minds is an awesome show. I get to watch the episode; it was good. But you know, you got me.
I
prepared my own
want you
channel,
guys.
so, you know.
I want you guys. Forget about ranking the 31. Rank your top 10 Mania pay-per-views, start to finish. In the comment box,
Right here. And please do it. Come on. Or tweet me, or tweet him, or well, not tweet you, because you don't go on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, not
except
that
for
often.
except to tweet.
That we're actually going to get together and do a show. And what do you want to see?
Or to tweet Katy Perry about something I saw. It was a recent tweet, or one of your recent tweets.
That was at the Super Bowl.
Oh, is that what that was?
That was how long ago it was.
Wow. And then
It was a picture of SpongeBob sitting at the table all sad. He's like, everyone's sitting here talking about the Super Bowl, and I'm just waiting for Katy Perry to sing the halftime show.
oh, okay.
And I did another one for
Rhonda.
Tina Menzel
Oh, okay.
to sing the national anthem.
Oh, I saw that, and I saw your one for Rhonda. That was cool.
So
Because
yeah,
she almost killed Steffi. That would have been awesome. Anyway,
they're talking about Hell in a Cell in L.A. McMahon Rousey.
I will be there, hopefully.
So, give us your top 10 WrestleMania pay-per-views in the comment box provided. I'm the Renegade, sometimes J.J. Williams.
I'm always Jeff Meacham, and I'll be back with more Talk Wrestling and maybe more dads we can get together with this guy.
Yeah.
We're in the new Casa not D18 studios, so we might
Casa
get
to
people
somewhere.
Casa to somewhere. None of your goddamn business where. That's where.
If you want more dads, give us topics.
That's right. We will see you guys next time.